Hey, thanks for joining me here at 11:15. I appreciate your time. Sorry to anyone who is in this batch that I didn't get to earlier. The previous set ran a lot longer than I thought it would. And I'm still new to this and getting in the swing of things. And, sometimes you don't know what the cards are going to have to say. Or how much they're going to have to say, really. So I'm going to try this section a little different. I'm going to pause in between just to make the timestamps a little smoother for me. And just like, everyone else on the planet, I'm sure most people can't stand to hear their own voice on video. I know I can't. So I'll be saving myself some ear bleeding if I just go ahead and take note of the timestamps as I go. All right. Furthermore, I would like to say thank you again to anyone who's here, especially anyone who's coming back. I did take a look at my analytics earlier today, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. So anyway, enough about me. You're not here to hear me, doing all that stuff. I'm not going to count this one. I didn't even ask anything yet. So, Virgo, what is your advice to help you along your transformation? What is your advice to help you along your transformation? Advice for Virgo. Advice for Virgo on their transformation. This is so funny. Like, nothing would come out for you earlier either. Okay. Rest, relaxation, meditation, contemplation, recuperation, retreat, renewal, and solitude. Interesting. And this one. Okay. Manifestation, financial opportunity, skill development, ambition, desire, and diligence. Somebody understood the assignment of the transformation, yes? Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, and mercy. You're just going at this transformation from all angles, are you not? So it seems to me like you're fully aware, by way of intuition or other means that, you're coming up on the end of this cycle here and you are ready for it, literally pouncing at it. Let's see, public recognition, victory, progress, and self-confidence. Well, judging by these previous cards, fuck yeah, dude, like you should be really confident in what you're doing. Like you understood the assignment and you're taking it seriously. You're attacking it from all angles. You're doing the damn thing, man. This is phenomenal. Do we have any advice for you? Do you have some advice for us, Virgo? Do you have advice to offer the rest of us? Because you're killing this here. Like, this is some awesome stuff. Any further advice for Virgo? Wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution. Now, if you're sitting on the other side of the screen and you're like, this bitch is loony, she don't know what she's talking about. Now, it could be that you're actually doing all these things, or maybe you're not doing any one of them because you don't know where to start. Now, this could either be saying, this is what Virgo's been up to, check them out, aren't they cool, aren't they doing the thing? Or it could be saying, yeah, that Virgo, these are all the things they should be doing. They're not doing one a bit of them. So apply it as necessary. Do we have any further... Why do I always do that? That's so weird. Why? Okay. Okay. Don't mind me. I'm being a spaz. It's all right. Self-care, unpaid debts, one-sided charity, strings attached, power, and domination. Well, finally, some things to watch out for. Other than the self-care, of course. The self-care, you know, we all know that's all well and good, fine and dandy. You know, but if you've got the unpaid debts and the one-sided charity and the blah, 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 you know, of course, for sure. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Any self-respect, self-confident, introverted, selfishness, jealousy, and insecurity. Okay, finally, some actual things for you to watch out for here. You know, if you're doing the thing and doing it well, you know, none of us are perfect. None of us can juggle all of our stuff perfectly at all times. My face is itching and I don't understand. Why is this happening right now? Anyway, yeah, it could definitely be something to watch out for. I don't know for what kind of situation you might be in for where you need to maintain your self-respect and your self-confidence. But you know what? You know, this may be pointing to just spending so much time in your head and on you that you may be like pulling away from reality a little bit and really getting in there. You know, with everything, it's a juggling act. It's a balance thing. It's a fine line, you know. Take it and apply it as necessary to your situation, of course. Any advice for Virgo and their transformation? Speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, air travel. So maybe you're being asked to not necessarily overthink decisions at this time. Energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless impulsiveness. It does seem that you're being asked to maybe, you know, not dawdle when it comes to decisions, exhaustion, giving up, destroyed confidence, overwhelmed, overly protective. And creative opportunities, intuitive messages, curiosity, possibility, happy, surprise, dreamer, sensitivity, new love. Well, you may be in a situation right now where you're thinking perhaps you're ready to move on. I mean, judging by all of this, it looks like you have a good handle on your self-care. Maybe you're not quite certain if you should, you know, move on or if you should stay single for a while longer. Considering these cards speaking on, you know, making decisions a little more quickly, you know, I think perhaps that's what's being called for here. You know, just because you go on a date or two with somebody doesn't mean you have to marry them. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that you're certain that you like them all that much yet. You know, you're getting to know those things. So, if it's something in the way of a possible new romantic partner, I think you're being told to, you know, maybe don't overthink the thing so much. Just go out and see what there is to see. Do we have anything further for Virgo and their transformation? Okay. Teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, building something. Yeah, it looks like you're being asked to go ahead and take a few dates. Most definitely. All right, Virgo, I think that's all I have for you. I'm going to grab a pen because I'm not well prepared, and I am going to write down that time, and then we are going to move on. Again, as per usual, feel free to check your other placements, and you may find that you're getting a clearer picture. All right, then. We'll be back in a moment with Libra. Hey, Libra, thanks for joining me. Let's see what advice there is for you for this transformation. Let's see. What advice? Excuse me, cards. I'm trying to do a thing here, if you don't mind. Seeing about advice for Libra for their transformation. Weird ask, but I'm down for it. Okay, advice for Libra. Public recognition, victory, progress, self-confidence. So definitely focusing on, knowing your worth at this time could be of importance. Any further advice for Libra for their transformation? I don't feel like these were intended. Any further advice for Libra? Okay. So we had this first. Cold, bad advice, emotional manipulation, moodiness, self-compassion, inner feelings. Yeah, you're definitely being asked to know your worth right now, because it looks like there may be someone in your life that, no one enjoys dealing with a manipulative person. Familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy, and nostalgia. Perhaps focusing on those things at this time could assist you in getting through the issues with this manipulative character. New ideas, curiosity, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, restless mental energy. Perhaps there are some things that you could be doing, not to say that it's your fault or your communication style that is causing the issue, but maybe it would make sense for you to look into some new ways to communicate with this manipulative person, and perhaps you can work on some sort of common ground. New beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. Yeah, it looks like, it's calling for a new start with this manipulative character. Perhaps, perhaps they're not as manipulative as you maybe once thought. Perhaps that's the only way they feel like they can talk to you. Action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. That's the second time we've seen manifestation and creativity here, I do believe. Taurus might be important to you. Any further advice for Libra's transformation? Speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, air travel. So manifestation is mentioned again. If you're not aware of what manifestation is, I would definitely go to the Googles and Google that up. If you're looking to read a very interesting book on it, there's The Secret. Really amazing principles in there. You can start applying them immediately. It's kind of rad. Let me see. Overly emotional, easily, that's the second mention of that as well. Easily influenced, bitchy, cold-hearted, cruel, and bitterness. Yeah, definitely watch out for those behaviors. That could be one of the reasons why you find yourself being manipulated, because perhaps someone can't seem to speak to you in any other way or come to a reasonable conclusion. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not picking these cards. I'm not sitting here saying like, no, that Libra, they're a real bitch. In fact, my little sister and my best friend is a Libra, so that is not the case. Here we are. Self-discipline, opposition, lack of direction, lack of control, aggression, arrogance, and carelessness. Yeah, definitely watch that aggressive speech there. I mean, even if you're not dealing with the manipulator, you may be overly aggressive with everyone. On the bottom of the deck, unfairness, lack of accountability, guilt, dishonesty, and punishment. Good grief, Libra. You're in a big old bitchy pickle here. Goodness. Any advice? Any further advice for Libra? Aside from get your panties out of a knot. Holy moly. All right. Courage, persistence, test of faith, resilience, boundaries, last stand, gearing up for worst, pessimism, weary. Like I've mentioned before, there are some I can't say for certain that the person who formulated the words on these cards has English as a first language. Nonetheless, I do love these cards. And sometimes they're entertaining. Oh, who are you dealing with? Ay, ay, ay. Shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. Well, yeah, a call to start the shadow work and get a tighter focus on that and what is needed to move into your transformation. It seems like you're being called to really pay that some mind right now. It seems to be a lot of saying and doing things that are rubbing people the wrong way. It may even interest you to look into like some general human psychology, maybe to understand why the things that you say and do just really grate on people and hurt people's feelings and make you seem like you're being a mega bitch. Because maybe you don't realize how those things could be construed in a way, how they could be taken in an offensive way. Perhaps you don't realize it. I would recommend, there's a thing called the MBTI. It's very interesting. Even if you don't believe in personality tests or whatever, some people think it's phenomenal. you know, I think it's a useful tool for sure. There's a free test. Go on to Google and ring that up and, you know, take that and see what your type is. Perhaps you're a personality type that, you know, just has a tendency to be misunderstood, maybe. And that could be a really good jump start into. Has your vehicle broken down recently? Anyway, Anyhow, that could be a really good jump start into the shadow work. Self-reflection is very important. Knowing what makes you tick will help you to not tick off others. All right. I think that's all we have for you, Libra. I'm going to pause, take down the time, and then we are going to move on to Scorpio. All right. Come back and join us some other time, Libra. When you do, I hope to see in your cards that things are looking up. Catch you next time. Hey there, Scorpio. Thanks for stopping by 11:15. I thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. I'm going to get you some advice for your transformation. Some advice. Advice for Scorpio's transformation. All right. Do we want to try one more or no? Advice for Scorpio's transformation. Super. Okay. So, advice for Scorpio's transformation. What do we have? You know, when a card lands like that, I like to kind of look at both meanings. Anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, and despair. Inner turmoil, deep-seated fears, secrets, releasing worry, hope, reaching out. Well, there's a lot to unpack. Here and there. I'm sorry to hear that, Scorpio, for real. You know, as a human living the human experience, you know, we've all been in a position like that, and I'm really sorry to hear that for anyone. We've got the Ace of Swords. Mental clarity, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind, new conflict, and surgery. Well, let's hope not for the new conflict and the surgery. Here we have heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, and depression. And oddly, there are two cards that were knocked out of place. We've got heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. And we have intimidation, guardian, protector. Do we have any advice for Scorpio on their transformation? Any advice for Scorpio? Any advice for Scorpio? Perhaps you're in a violent household. Any advice for Scorpio? Sudden change. Yeah, that's so weird. I was just thinking that, like, yeah, perhaps just leave. And I hate when, people are going through something, and, we all know that life is complicated. You can't just up and be like, oh, hey, this is terrible here. I'm gonna go buy a new house now, or I'm gonna go rent an apartment now, or I live with my partner who owns the vehicle that I use to get back and forth to work. So I'm just gonna say fuck all that, and I'm just gonna move on with my life. No, most of us don't have the money or the means to do any such thing. So I really hate when people say, well, why don't you just leave? And because it's not that simple. Yeah, upheaval, chaos, sudden change. Any change would be great. Sudden insight. What might help that is, I'm sorry, but I'm not reading this entire stack. We can be given them one at a time, if they're necessary. But, gaining insight on relationship issues, you'd be shocked. Well, maybe you wouldn't be, considering this is your reading. But a lot of people have a lot of communication issues with their partner. I'm personally not even certain how most people manage to start dating one another with with the lack of communication. It's really astounding. Do we have anything else? Scorpio. Lack of long-term vision. Limited success or reward. Work without results and distractions. Yeah, maybe work on cutting the distractions out. Maybe work on setting yourself some goals. Perhaps set some rewards for yourself for doing mundane things. Like, let's say you really like, I don't know. I don't need to give you an example. You're not 10 anyway. Perhaps you've been very childish here recently, though. Maybe it would help you to cut that out as well. Any further advice for Scorpio's transformation? Difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, deadlock, and this came up a half and half. Lesser of two evils, no right choice, confusion, indecision, information overload. Since there is no right choice, sticking with the lesser of two evils, it's still the lesser evil. Since you have information overload over this decision, and you're already dealing, I'm presuming, with the lesser of two evils. If you aren't, well, that could be a whole other conversation. But if you're dealing with the lesser of two evils currently, sometimes I like to tell myself, at least it could be worse. Oh my. Any further advice for Scorpio? And you gotta laugh or you're gonna cry. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm not feeling the pain on this one. I do. I get it. I understand. As much as I can from my outside perspective. I understand the picture that's being painted here. And I'm not trying to take it lightly. financial loss, lack mindset, loss, isolation, worry, need, poverty, and insecurity. Any further advice for Scorpio? Any further advice? Any further advice for Scorpio? Manifestation, financial opportunity, skill, development, ambition, desire, diligence. Well, we could cap off the whole damn thing with that right there. That's literally everything you need. If I've said it once, I'll probably say it 1,000,000,001 times over the course of my time on this YouTube channel. But if you haven't read The Secret, it's about manifestation. It's an amazing book. You can have it working for you in 5 minutes. It helps you understand the principles, which can be confusing and seem a little backward. You know, perhaps spending less time in your head about these two decisions, which you can't seem to make a call on anyway. You know, just call that a stalemate. Anytime thoughts about it arise up in your head, have a song at the ready. Like, it's funny. I like to use I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins. when just some negative shit that I don't need to be thinking about anymore, when it arises, I just, you know, that's my automatic reply to it. Just, I don't care anymore. And I think about that song for a minute or two, and I just change my thought. It might be a good time to find like a second job. Just focus, redirect your energy onto something that you can change, because this being torn between two decisions, you know, it seems like you don't necessarily have the means to change anything anyway. Not to add insult to injury. I feel like I'm a Scorpio too, so don't get shitty with me for being a little, I've got my stinger out, you know, like I know a Scorpio can handle it, and I know a lot of people really appreciate bluntness, and I know I do. You know, the Scorpio thing. But maybe it's time to just leave the decision. Realize there's no decision to make when you can't take action away toward another decision. You feel me? So there is essentially no decision at all. Is there? Exactly. All right. Focus that energy on manifestation. Focus that energy on making your life a more positive place to live. Focus that energy away from thinking that there is even a decision at all, because it doesn't seem like there really is one. All right, Scorpio, that's going to wrap you up. We are going to move on next to Sagittarius. Be back in a moment. Hey, Sagittarius, what's shaking? Thank you for stopping in at 11:15. I appreciate your time. I appreciate that you're here. If you feel froggy, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Felt compelled to I just split the deck, and here he was. Institutions, tradition, religion, society, and its rules. Social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, trust. Interesting. All right, let's see. What advice do we have for Sagittarius? We must do it now. I gotta listen. All right, what advice? What advice do we have? Okay, all right. That was different. I'll do it though. That's cool. Seeking personal closure, shortcuts, delays, no closure, incompletion. Can't shortcut through your transformation, man. You know, I know the feeling though, because just my personality type, like, yeah, I like to find the most efficient ways to do everything. Quiet power, inner truth, callous, weakness, loss of emotional control, manipulation, misuse of power. Perhaps something for you to keep an eye on. Maybe a Taurus is involved in your life as well. Preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, overseas opportunities. Why am I hearing, do you even kayak, bro? I don't know. What the hell is that? Okay. Any advice for Sagittarius and their transformation? Coming clean, rethinking approach, deception, self-deceit, keeping secrets. Multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, balancing decisions. Maybe you have some Scorpio in your chart. Any further fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence? Interesting. Anything further? Advice for Sagittarius. Any further advice for Sagittarius? Are we sure? Any further advice? Honey, I've only got so much time in the day, sweetheart. Anything further? Thank you. Painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, and defeat. Lack of inner joy, smugness, dissatisfaction, indulgence, materialism, inner happiness. I got this pairing earlier today in the first set. It basically warns that, you know, after financial success comes in for you, there's going to be danger of overindulgence, and you're being asked to not. It won't end well for you. You need to keep a tight rein on yourself and your finances for sure. And that coming clean earlier, you know, of course, no one wants to be a liar. And if you have been, fucking quit it. Reading over. But, yeah, of course. I mean, these are pretty self-explanatory, pretty clear stuff going on here. Natural leader, entrepreneur. Yeah, it looks like you're going to be very career focused and coming into some sort of money. I mean, it looks like you're possibly on the tail end of a painful ending, but it doesn't seem like it's really necessarily the focus. And it looks like this is more career focused for sure. Wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, generosity. It, for the other sign that I got this for, this also came up as well, because whomever this is, if you get successful, I'm telling you, get a financial advisor, invest properly, keep a rein on your spending, keep your drug and alcohol use to as little as humanly possible. You know, don't go thinking you're some sort of big shot, because it can be here today, gone tomorrow. Keep getting flashes of this old show that I used to watch about lottery winners and how they fuck their lives all to hell. You know, after winning, when they could have just really had the world by the balls, and they go and screw it up. It's going to be very important. The generosity portion here. Yeah, if you have an abundance, you are going to be expected by the powers that be to share in some way. I'm not saying overshare to your detriment. I'm saying, you know, giving to the less fortunate is a worthy cause. We also have, lastly here, compassion, comfort, calm, maturity, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, and caring. Yeah, that giving the charitable causes and things, you know, donating your time, things of that nature. If you're going to be coming into some large financial gain, I mean, even if you're not necessarily the type of person who ever thought about giving back before, why not? Just absolutely, why not? There's no good reason not to. You know, and I think, you know, one of my very close friends is very money motivated, and one of the things that would motivate him to give to the less fortunate would probably be what I'm going to recommend to anyone else who needs to be talked into it, which is, I'm pretty sure it's tax deductible. So if you have any reservations about, you know, donating to the less fortunate when you find that your cup is overfilled, you know, start out just by knowing that it's probably tax deductible. Ask your financial advisor for further information. But I really hope and pray that, you know, anyone who has the means to do so would definitely consider giving something back. There are a lot of people out there really struggling who would really appreciate it. Diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development, repetitive tasks. Are you the same person that had mention of a project not going viral last week, but being very financially lucrative? Living in the past, forgiveness, lacking playfulness, moving forward, leaving home, independence. Yeah. Definitely good advice for sure. I think I mentioned it during Scorpio's segment. You know, if you find yourself rethinking, rehashing old stuff, like redirecting your mind is very powerful. And we have teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, building something. Yeah, it looks like you either have started or will be starting some sort of business venture. It looks like a vast majority of your focus is going to be on this, and it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with that. It seems like it's going to be very fruitful for you. This looks phenomenal. This looks excellent. Just don't forget to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And don't forget about the less fortunate while you're raking in all your big buckaroonies and all your pentacles and all this good stuff, all right? Do we have anything else for advice for Sagittarius and their transformation? Anything else for Sagittarius and their transformation? Yeah, I really feel like that's about it. All right, Sag, that'll finish you up for now. Thanks again for stopping in, and we are moving on. Hey, Capricorn, thanks for joining me here at 11:15. I appreciate your energy, appreciate your time. Interesting. Split right here. Creativity, romantic charm, imagination, beauty, knight in shining armor. Following the heart, Prince Charming, proposals. Interesting stuff for you. You go on and get it. Go on with yourself there. Very nice. What advice do we have? Capricorn's transformation. Okay. I'm just doing what I'm told. What advice do we have for Capricorn's transformation? Preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, overseas opportunities. Fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. Love it. Any further advice? Keep an eye out for the number 8. Negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, victim mentality, and entrapment. Yeah, keep an eye so you can redirect yourself away from the negativity and onto better things. It takes some practice, but I'm telling you, it really works. Do we have any further advice for Capricorn, especially right now? During this time, first 3 cards are beautiful. You don't want to rob yourself of this experience here by being in your head and being negative. Emotional loss, blocked creativity, emptiness, self-love, intuition, repressed emotions. Yeah, perhaps journaling at this time, journaling and meditation might be a good call. Getting the exercise in, getting the sun, making sure we're eating well. Negative self-talk again. Releasing pain, forgiveness, optimism, recovery, and moving on. Excellent. Moving on, moving on. Yeah, definitely watch yourself with that negative self-talk, man. It's a killer. It is a killer. Disharmony, misalignment, working alone, lack of teamwork, disorganized, and group conflict. Yeah, open and honest communication with anyone you're dealing with is going to be your best friend, it seems. We also have celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, and homecoming. Most awesome. Just watch the negative self-talk and you're golden. Next. Any further advice for Capricorn for their transformation? Any further advice for Capricorn for their transformation? Any? Apparently, yes. Okay. Manipulation, poor planning, untapped talents, insecure, lack of confidence, and narcissism. Well, hopefully... Well, I'm just going to say, hopefully that's coming from you, so you can correct it. Because correcting yourself, if you're a narcissist, and if you're willing to realize that your behavior has narcissistic tendencies and is felt by others as narcissistic behavior, you can do something to correct it. Now, if you're a true narcissist, you've probably just thrown your phone across the room. And now you're picking it up and you're on Google trying to find my address so you can come beat the shit out of me for calling you a narcissist. Okay, moving on. The card said it. It wasn't me. Calm down, bro. All right. Self-care, unpaid debts, one-sided charity, strings attached, power and domination. Interesting. That is the second time that narcissistic type behaviors were mentioned here. Any further? So definitely keep yourself in check and keep your person, just keep an eye. Sometimes there's a thing called covert narcissism where, you'd be floored to realize, who people really are. It's some wild shit, man. Some people are just so convincing with their manipulations, their lies. It's a wild world out here, friend. Any further advice for Capricorn for their transformation? Inner child, feeling down, overly optimistic, negativity, depression, sadness, carelessness, and arrogance. That's now the third mention. It may be you. Definitely take a look at your words and actions when it comes to other people. And make sure you're keeping yourself in check here. It looks like you may be involved with someone you could possibly marry. No reason to, treat them unkindly to the point where, you may be doing harm that sticks with them for years, if they're staying with you or not. You may be doing irreparable harm. So definitely take a real serious look at your words and actions, especially when it comes to your relationship. Make sure you're not being a dillhole, okay? Any further advice for Capricorn? Any further advice for Capricorn for their transformation? Any further advice for Capricorn in their transformation? Looks like this is a lot about just keeping yourself in check. And not hurting the people that you love. Yeah, really keeping away from that negative self-talk. People project their issues onto other people. If you're not sure what projection means, go ahead and pause this and run to your Google quick. I didn't know what it meant till last week. I thought it was very interesting. And I've seen people do it. I just never knew there was a name for it. But it makes some people's behaviors make a lot more sense. Just keeping your negativity in check, so it's, first and foremost, not being a nuisance to you, but also not hurting the people around you, for sure. All right, Capricorn, I think that about wraps it up for your advice. And we're going to be moving on. Thanks again for stopping in.